Hello everyone. In today's episode, I'm joined with Caitlin, and Caitlin has Crohn's disease, and today we're going to be hearing about her journey and her story. So thank you, Caitlin, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So if you just to start with, Caitlin, if you could introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, my name's Caitlin. I'm 21 and I've had Crohn's disease for about 5 years undiagnosed, and then about nearly 2 years diagnosed with it.
Okay. And how would you say you're doing at the moment with your Crohn's?
What was it, sorry?
How would you say at the moment you're doing with your Crohn's? So you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I started Adalimumab, the Amgevita injections, about 3 months ago. They're not working so far, but fingers crossed, have high hopes if they're getting me somewhere. So just pulling through for now, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I'm actually on them. I've been on them quite a while, and I think you do have your ups and downs, but
yeah,
one week it might not be too great, but for me it's okay. But I hope they do work for you.
No, I have fingers crossed, because it took me I'm going to say 8 or 9 months to even get on them. And I was actually supposed to start infliximab, and then last minute they were just no, we're not doing infliximab, we're doing the injections. And I was like, oh no, I'm terrified of needles. I was like, don't do this to me. But I don't know, I took a bit of reaction at the start. I started getting really, really bad, night sweats. It was terrible. I was waking up in the middle of the night, thought thinking I was going to pass out and everything. And I was no, I need to get off these. It was insane. But they were just no, we'll stay on them for now. So I think they're giving me till February, and then they're going to do another MRI and see how my bloods and stuff are, and maybe change it. But I don't know. I've heard really good reports about it though. Do you know what I mean? Loads of people have been saying they're brilliant, and so I'm just hoping, because I don't really want any more surgery.
No.
Down that. So
don't want surgery, but
no more.
But I was actually on infliximab before. I was on this, and I was on infliximab a year, and had a reaction on the 9th infusion. So I went on the Humira, which I'm on now, and it's working. It's been up and downs. There's been a few but it's been good. I prefer it than going into hospital having injections.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what was putting me off. The whole having to go in and then for a certain period of time a day and all. And I was just when you're home, you can just do it and it's over in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And then that's it. But with the hospital, it was the whole, oh my God, half my day is going to be sitting in a hospital. So I am thankful for it, but just fingers crossed it actually works. And then, because it actually, whenever I took the reaction, I actually had an appointment with my surgeon, telephone, and he was saying, we might need to do more surgery. And I was it's a bit early for that jump. I wasn't expecting the surgery jump. So, yeah, don't know, fingers crossed. But there is loads of medication, so this is the first one I've tried, because I was in remission for 9 months till January, just 2021, and then it took me 9 months to actually get started on medication. So hopefully I gotta do 3 goes.
Yeah, I think it's hard to get in remission, isn't it? And then once you get out of it, it's quite annoying, because you've been in remission for a while, and then you have to try work to get to back to that place again.
Yeah. See, in a way, I was sort of lucky, because I had undiagnosed Crohn's for a few years, and then I got really, really sick, and obviously they didn't know what was wrong with me and stuff. So I only found out I had Crohn's because I actually needed a bowel resection, emergency. So that put me into remission. and then I was in remission for like 9 months, and then so now I'm only really starting the treatment. So like people keep saying to me like, how do you find the treatments? And I'm like, oh, I can't even help you because I've only tried one and so far it hasn't done anything. But yeah, lucky I haven't like went through loads and loads of medication yet. So
Yeah, yeah, it's quite annoying being on like medication. Like we don't. I think the aim is not to be on any at some point.
yeah, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, because I always say to when I see my consultant, I say can I go down on this medication, because of course it dampens your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're on like drugs like Humira, Fliximab, then kind of drugs do quite make you vulnerable. So
Yeah.
but I heard that one of my consultants said if you're on there a few years, so say if you're on Humira a few years, you should be able to like not be on, see if you can work without like the medication. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to say on a medication for a couple of years, but I think yeah, it'd be nice not to be on any medication without any pain.
I know, weird. It really, really weird. Like that's what I keep. But then cause obviously, I haven't been well, so like, I was due to take my injection like last week, and obviously I can't take it because I'm not well. And literally, like the past few days, my whole mouth has just been covered in ulcers. Like, but I didn't even realize until I was brushing my teeth, and you can just feel, you know, like the pain, obviously, of the toothbrush, and they were all bleeding and everything, and it was terrible. Like I haven't had mouth ulcers like that from I started the medication, and now they're just everywhere, like all down my throat and everything. So I'm sitting going like, if I come off this medication and I just want to be covered in my ulcers all the time, like it's just terrible. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, really, don't
Yeah,
you?
you've got to do what you got to do. Like but like with your Crohn's, like how has it been like hard, like getting diagnosed? Like did that take quite a bit of time?
Yeah. So like, see, really, like my Crohn's story, it actually sort of starts when I was like 11. So like, it's really long-winded, but like whenever I was 11, I had a really, really bad burst appendix. So my appendix had burst for like 4 days before I actually went for surgery. So I was like quite ill. And then after my burst appendix, I developed like sepsis. I developed gangrene like in my terminal ileum, part of my bowel, like and then I needed a second operation like 2 weeks later for a bowel resection, but they never biopsied like the part of bowel that they resected that time. So after that, like no one could really gather why my burst appendix was so severe. Like I was really ill. I think I was in hospital for like nearly 2 months, and like it was really long. So after that, it was sort of like okay. That was whenever I was 11. Whenever I was like 15, I started getting like really, like looking back now, they're like Crohn symptoms, but at the time I didn't know to know like what it was or anything. Like my mummy just sort of thought I had IBS because they weren't like really severe, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like normal. So I would have had like bad toilet urgency or like stomach pain and things like that. But then whenever I got to like 17, I started like passing blood, but I was like really afraid, so I wouldn't tell anybody. Like, I wouldn't tell anyone because I was like, because you Google it and it tells you, like it told me everything but Crohn's. Like I'd never seen Crohn's before when I Googled this. So
Yeah.
like it just told me these bad things and I was too scared, so I just wouldn't tell anyone. Um and then I got to, I think I was like what, 19, and I woke up, like I always had stomach pain, but it was never like really, really, really bad. It was just like up there. So one day I woke up and it was just like a stomach pain like you just cannot describe. And I was like, ever since I was really young, I've been like petrified of hospitals. So like I would never be like, oh, I need to go to the hospital. But like this morning I woke up, me and my boyfriend were actually like staying in a hotel. And the next morning I got up and I was like, oh my God, like you need to bring me to the hospital. And he was like, you're so dramatic. Like, why are you getting on like that? I was like, no, like I'm seriously in so much pain. So I ended up going to the hospital and they told me like I just had like a bad stomach bug or whatever. So I was like, right, okay. And that was like in the July. And then every like 2 weeks I was getting like this horrific stomach pain. Like I couldn't move. I was vomiting to like the point that was just like bile, and like it was awful. But like I wouldn't go to the hospital because I think I was just like in denial, something wrong. So it got to like December and I woke up one morning and I was in my boyfriend's house and he was like, I was like rocking back and forth. It was like 5 in the morning and I had been up all night, like just being sick and being sick, like couldn't move, like it was awful. And I actually said to him, like, I actually feel like I'm done, like I'm in so much pain, like, and I can't eat, I'm just vomiting, like I can't drink anything, like I think I'm gonna die. Like he's probably sitting there like, oh my god. But I actually ended up going to the hospital and they ended up saying like there was definitely something wrong. But at the time they actually diagnosed me with like a cyst on my right ovary and like a hydrosalpinx, like a blocked fallopian tube. It's like filled with like harmful fluid. So they were treating me for that, and I was like under the surgical team in the hospital who were like gastro doctors as well. And they were saying like it's definitely not bowel, like all this, because the gynecologist came and said like you do have these things, but there's no way it would be causing this much pain unless the cyst had bust, and it hasn't. So the gynecologist was saying it's bowel, and the bowel surgeons were saying it was gynae. So I was like, what's wrong with me? So then I like got discharged and put under like outpatient for gynae. So I was seeing gynae like in the meantime, and on top of that, I was like constantly at A&E. Like it was just getting so bad. Like I was spending literally every day of my life in A&E. Like they wouldn't admit me. The times they did admit me, like they weren't doing anything. Like it got to the point where like I was in a gynae ward in like the Belfast City Hospital. And they were actually going to take me for emergency surgery during the night to remove my right hand ovary and fallopian tube because of the pain I was in. And they ended up not, because they gave me like loads of morphine and it knocked me out. So they were like, right, no surgery. They actually done an MRI when I was in the city, and a bowel surgeon came and told me that I had strictures in my bowel. And I was like, what is that? And they were just sort of like, just eat low fiber and they'll go away. Like, it's fine. And I was like, right, okay, like, whatever. But then I just kept ending up in A&E because the pain just would not subside. And then one of the times I was actually in, they put like a NG in, and I went for like some X-ray where they put like contrast. YouTube was like clipped for the scan, so they just left it clipped, and I'd like fallen asleep. So whenever I woke up, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be sick. But I was in like a wee room on my own, and it connected to like a drip and paracetamol. So I like couldn't. I know I had my button, but I couldn't like reach the door or anything. And I just started vomiting, and it was like stool coming out. Like I mean, it was everywhere. Like, and I was squealing because I was like, this is not normal. Like you're not supposed to vomit this. And it was just everywhere. Like it took them like 20 minutes to even come to my room, like because someone was hoovering outside and they couldn't, like just wouldn't come. So I was screaming and shouting, and they ended up coming, and I done like a stool sample and everything, and they told me that there was like significant inflammation in the stool sample, but they just sent me home and scheduled me for like an MRI for like 6 weeks from that day. And I was like this was now like the end of February, and I think I was admitted to hospital like 8 times, and I was in A&E like 15 in the space of like 3 months, and like no one was telling me what was wrong. Like I think I was like 8.5 stone, and I was like 7 stone 2 at this point. This was in like 2 months, and like it was just insane. And then it was just like you're just constantly like fighting doctors, like when they're telling you nothing's wrong, and you're like, it's not normal for me to be in this pain. Do you know what I mean? I ended up having to drop out of uni. I was going to Queen's doing psychology. I ended up having to leave uni. Like I had to leave my job, like everything, because no one was answers. And then on in March, they ended up putting me under like a done, like I'd had every scan, like I'd had ultrasound, X-rays, CT scans, and MRI, like everything. And I got a CT scan, and I actually said to him, like, this is such a waste of your time, like, because I've had this scan so many times and everyone just keeps telling me nothing's wrong with me. Like, and then it was that night the surgeon came to me and was like, "You're really sick." And I was like, "Thank you." Someone's actually telling me I'm not well. And he was like, "You need surgery, like right now." But it was like really late at night, and he was like, because I'd already had previous surgery, he was like, "I don't want to take you in right now because I don't know what I'm getting into. So we'll go first thing in the morning." And I was like, it was such a relief, but at the same time, it was like, "Oh no, I'm going for surgery." Like, but it was just the most, like, it was basically like a whole year of me being really ill. Like, and the symptoms were crazy, like crazy symptoms. Like the pain I was in was just awful, and no one, and like all the symptoms were there for Crohn's, like mucus, like passing blood, like vomiting stool, like the pain, like I was anemic. Oh, it was just insane. Like, and no one was even recognizing anything. No one mentioned Crohn's to me the whole time I was there. It was awful.
Yeah, Crohn's is it's I didn't hear of like Crohn's before I was diagnosed, so it's quite hard getting diagnosed by probably accepting what you have because you don't really know much about it. Um, like
Yeah.
I like when I found about it, I didn't speak about it too much to my friends, but I can't. I did because I was at school at the time, so I'd have been in year 11 at
Mm-hmm.
school, and it was a horrible time to get diagnosed. Get diagnosed whenever exams are going on, so I
Mm-hmm.
I had to catch up, and luckily enough, teachers didn't understand enough to um not have to do the work and stuff straight away. But it is like a lot of the symptoms are hard. Like you've got fatigue,
Yeah.
blood, blood having blood in the stools. It's quite hard at first. I think that one, especially the first time. I remember the first time and thinking, "What's that in there?" Like not 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 the
Mm-hmm.
normal. And then when I think I was doing okay, I had a little holiday to Scotland in Edinburgh, and then I went to the toilet and then there was blood in there. I wasn't very happy about that, but that happens when you have Crohn's. You have all this on that comes with it.
It's awful. Like whenever I was in remission, obviously till January, and then I came out of remission, and I think it was like June or something, but I hadn't had blood on my stool from like before my surgery. So I was like, right, if I get blood on my stool, that's when I know it's definitely there. Like I just wouldn't believe that I wasn't out of remission, or I wasn't still in remission yet, even though I had like so many symptoms again. But one day I went to the toilet and there was blood, and I literally was like, no. I like ran down to my mummy and I was like, no, like I was crying, and she was like, "Kate, I'm like, it's okay." And I was like, "No, it isn't. Like, this isn't what I want." It's awful. Like, I think it's just like when, like, you know, you have something, but then it's like one wee thing happens and it just reminds you that it's real, even though it's always real. But you're like if I get a mouth ulcer, sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, it's because I ate something that's maybe burnt my mouth," even though I know fine rightly it's just the Crohn's. Like, you know, I just always try and make excuses until something happens where you just can't. No, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like coming to terms with something that no one really like understands. Like, and like I would never like blame someone for not understanding Crohn's, because it is such a, it's not talked about enough. If you don't have it, you're not just gonna start reading about it or like start becoming really invested in it because it doesn't affect you, you know. So like if, like I just love, like I love posting things on my, and like I'll always post things on my Instagram. Like I am quite open with my Crohn's because like I have it from for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? What's the point in like just being afraid to talk about it? So like, and I love whenever people who like don't have Crohn's will text me and be like I love reading your stuff and all, and like it's really made me realize what it is, and I'm just like, it's just what I want. Like it just, sometimes I get so angry because I'm like, people just don't get enough recognition with Crohn's. Like people don't understand. Like it causes so many other problems than just going to the toilet. It's like you get sore heads, you get brain fog, you get sore eyes, you can have bloating, like vomiting, like sore joints, sore back, like so many other things that don't even involve running to the toilet. And it's like people don't even get that. Like some people just think that IBS and Crohn's is like the same, except with Crohn's you maybe just are a bit more pain. But like Crohn's just brings like loads more symptoms, if you know what I mean. Like it just affects you differently that people just don't get, and just makes me angry because I don't know. I just feel sorry for people as well who like are maybe out there not knowing what's wrong with them, and like the doctor isn't taking them seriously or not diagnosing them, and oh, I just get all worried and all about
Yeah.
it. It's
I
terrible.
completely understand what you mean, and I agree with like with the IBS and IBD. It is quite annoying when people think it's the same, um,
Mm,
and it's completely different. Like IBD, you're most likely to have surgery in your life, um,
mm,
and with IBS, it's more of like it's not you don't. I think you don't have surgery really or anything like that, and it's although both are not nice. Like don't get me wrong, IBS
mm.
isn't friendly, but if you would have to choose, you'd probably pick IBS over IBD because um, you're not as it's more of probably treatable than IBD.
Yeah, like not invalidating anyone who has IBS, but it's just like I think sometimes I just get defensive because I'm like I don't feel like people with IBS. I'm like if you think you're bad, like imagine how I feel when my Crohn's affects my legs and all, and my eyes and my back, and like and this is like every day I would have these problems, like and nothing takes my pain away. And then some people say, but you have treatment, and I'm like, but my treatment isn't even working. Like, you know, so it's not really fair to say either, but it's just like I think I just get defensive because I'm like my Crohn's has nearly killed me twice. Like I've literally nearly died twice because of my Crohn's. Like I don't think IBS is ever gonna kill you, you know.
Mm.
So I don't know, but I just feel like more people just need to be like educated on it, and like if I had to do it, I would do it to everyone because
Yeah.
like everyone just it's not even that like it's so common nowadays too. Like it is so common. Like how many people I even know who have Crohn's now. It's just insane. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like normally, when you maybe speak to a friend, they'll say, "I know someone that has Crohn's," and so it's more noticeable now. Like you get
Mm-hmm.
maybe some celebrities that are coming out and talking about it now. I think you have Amy
Yeah.
from Strictly, um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which is it's great. It's great for the people that who feel like they can't speak about it because they're a bit embarrassed about it. So um, it's like
Mm-hmm.
when we have these people like ourselves, people that speak about Crohn's and their journeys, it helps others, which is great, and it just helps other people that don't understand about it a little to help them understand a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is what we want.
I know. I educate everybody. Like everyone, even on TikTok now, I be leaving my comments on under all the videos. You want me to see my name? I swear, I have to.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think it's nice when you raise awareness. It's kind of a hobby. Like I found it as a hobby more now than because you're learning as well when you speak about your journey and hope, and then you find lots of other people that have Crohn's and IBD as well.
Yeah, like even like last year, I was told when I was 11, I might have needed a stoma bag after my bowel section. So like from then, it's just always frightened me because I've obviously been told at 11, like you don't see it for what it is, you just see it for what it looks like, you know, and how different you're going to be. So it's just always like been a thing in the back of my head, like if anything's ever wrong with my bowel again, I'm gonna need a stoma because I just wasn't like educated until after my surgery about it. So like whenever I got told the night before my surgery that it was sort of looking like I would need one, because of how badly damaged the bowel looked on the scan, like I just fell the pieces because I was like, no, like this can't happen. Did I ever get on like that, and it was literally purely just because no one spoke about them. Like I didn't see it on social media. Like no one ever talked about what a stoma bag was or like anything. It was always sort of like a taboo thing to me because like I didn't know anyone with it, or I like, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
where like I started obviously being diagnosed with Crohn's, I started following people with Crohn's, and majority of that. Like, why did I have this thing in my head that it was going to make me so different? Like, it obviously makes you different, but like, barely, do you know what I mean? And like, it literally, if I hadn't needed it back then, it was going to save my life. And do you know what? At some point in my life, it might save my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I might need surgery down the line where I'm going to get one, and like, I'm completely fine with that now. But it's just like I knew in my head, I was like, well, I felt like that last year. So think of the many people out there who've never even been faced with a stoma bag, have that perception of it that it's so bad. And like some people, like if you read some comments and stuff on TikTok, they're like, it's vile and disgusting. And I just sit there and I'm full of rage and I'm like, oh, I need to say something because like I'm gonna explode. And my boyfriend's like killing, and I'm like, no, like I need to tell this person like how insensitive that is. Like, and it's just such not a big deal. Like it's just, I don't know whether like it's just so normal to me. So I'm like I know so many people now with one that I'm like, it's insane. I'm like, how can people sit out there and think that this is so weird, or like there's just nothing weird about it. Like it just blows my mind like how insensitive some people can be. And I just think it's crazy that like for stoma bags, for me to even just know so many people just from social media with one, why they're just not normalized and talked about so much more. Like, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I just think it's awful. Like, just like people just aren't educated so many things that are just so normal. Like, it's just crazy.
yeah, yeah. It is crazy. Like it's because like when you're out and like it is. I think it's all about appearance, isn't it? Like with having an
Mm-hmm.
IBD, like if you don't look ill to someone, they'll like if say you're going to use the disabled toilet, you come out and then you get a stare maybe, um, like they think like because you can walk, you're not disabled, but like I think nowadays that's getting more better with that. Like if someone stares at me, I'll say to them, like I can use this loo. I've got as much as right as her. I've got as much as right as you to use it. um,
Yeah.
and then like in the past actually, because I've needed to use the toilet in a restaurant, but apparently they couldn't allow me to go because it was only staff only. And then I said to them, I've got Crohn's. Can I go toilet? And they said yes. When I said that, and I have my you can't wait card if you need to go. So I showed it to them, and then they let me through. So um, it's just it does go on appearance quite a lot, Crohn's, which is unfortunate. But unless we speak about these things, it's not going to come across.
Yeah. Well, I sort of like I went to a concert in August. It was the Fela. It was like in Belfast, and it's like an outdoor thing, so it's like there's loads of people there. But I had my can't make cart with me because like obviously if you've ever been to like toilets or you know like you're drinking and stuff, like you need to go to the toilet. So I was like, I can't wait in them queue. So there's like a disabled toilet, but like people who I don't mean didn't need the disabled toilet, but like because the other ones were taken, people were like queuing for that one. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
because a lot of the toilets were full, you know, and people needed to go to the toilet. But I was like really needing to go. So I like went, there was like a security guard on the disabled toilet door. I see sure anyone like with a can't wait card because it was disabled. So I like went up to the top and I was like, can I use the bathroom after? Like the queues were so long. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Like he was really lovely about it. And he was like, yeah, like just stand here and when the person comes out, you can go in. And I was like, right, okay. and like there was loads of girls in the queue, and they were like all being so horrible, like to me and my sister. Like, and they were like, why are you getting to go to the toilet before me and all? And I was like, I have Crohn's. Like, what else am I supposed to say? I was like, I have Crohn's. And they were like, everyone has Crohn's, you know, as if like I was lying. And I was like, I literally have a card with my name on it. Like, I have Crohn's disease, but like wasn't getting in an argument. I was just sort of like turning around, and they were just being toilet. And like every time I was going to the toilet, I only went like 3 times to be honest the whole night. But like the 3 times I did go, like it was awful. Like they were all just making me feel so horrible. Like for needing to go, I was fuming. Like one of the times I actually felt like crying. Like I came back out and like went over to my boyfriend and was like, that was awful. Like I'm not using the toilet again. Like it was just the things they were saying, you know, like being like, oh, she thinks she can just like come to the top of the queue and get into the toilet and all with her card. And I was like that's so horrible. Why would you say that? It's not as if I'm lying. It was just awful. Like it was so bad. Sound of it, and they were really lovely. Like, but I was like, this is terrible. Like it was just horrible. And I was like, I would never make someone feel like that. Like for needing to go to the toilet. Like I'm only one extra person in front of them. Do you know what I mean? Like oh, it was awful. Like it was so bad.
Yeah, it's not nice getting accused of lying. Like I wouldn't have been happy as well if like someone would accuse you of lying about
Mm.
saying what you have, which is awful. Like it's not nice just getting accused of lying when you're not, and you just shove that card in their face. I would.
And I know it just makes you feel really out of place. Though. It was like, she was like, oh, everyone has Crohn's. And I was like, no, we really don't. I was like, here's the card. Do you want my ID to go with that? Like, honestly, that just makes you feel out of place. But then again, that's just people not like understanding. Because like I was saying, like if someone came up with a condition they were maybe more familiar with, they probably just would have been like, right, okay. But like, you know, they probably just don't like they probably just didn't understand really what Crohn's was or why I needed to go to the toilet. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just sort of think things sound like that to people just not really knowing what they're talking about, because I don't want to help myself if anyone's that horrible. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I think if everyone had Crohn's, like we've all understand, so we could talk to anyone about it. So like if everyone had Crohn's, that guy that you spoke to, he would have had it then. So
I know.
yeah, if he claims everyone's got Crohn's, so he has it. But but yeah, but
I should have said, well, where's your card? If
yeah,
everyone has Crohn's, where's all your cards?
yeah.
You wouldn't be in the queue.
No, he probably wouldn't know what Crohn's was if you asked him.
No.
No. But yeah, okay. Yeah, but unfortunately, we go through these not very good experiences. But if we stand up for ourselves, that they look silly and we don't.
I know. I think I just am at that point now, but where I just like don't care. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like I don't really care. Like at the beginning, I would have been like embarrassed. Like if I was like in somebody's house and I needed to use the bathroom, I would have been like, oh my god, like what am I going to do? Or like I was like in a shop to use my card and stuff because I would have been like, why? But now I'm just like I don't care. Like if I need to use your bathroom, like I need to use your bathroom, and if I'm going to take a half an hour, I'm going to take a half an hour. You may just wait. Like you know, like you can't do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like I'm just really comfortable with it now. Like no matter what, I'm just like, you know, if someone else doesn't like it, then or like if we sometimes me and my boyfriend had been, you know, like out somewhere with our friends, and then all of a sudden I would need to go to the toilet, and I always would have felt like it was such an inconvenience to everybody because I would have had to go and stay in the toilet, or if I wasn't near one, like I would have had to drive home, or you know, like just something really like that, and I would have just felt so bad. And now I'm just like, oh, I need to go to the toilet. Like, is it on me? Like, like I just don't care now. But I think it's just like making sure, like just getting to that stage where you're like comfortable with it and you're not embarrassed and you
Yeah.
just don't care. Like everything I even post on social media now, I'm just like, I don't even care. Like it's real. It's all real. You know, it's things that happen. So like,
Mm.
why should I be afraid or be embarrassed to talk about it? Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like there's millions of other people out there who whatever. So if I could speak for 1,000 people, like I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
If other people didn't want to do it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. It's good that like you're able to speak about it, because it's like I think hardest part is the diagnosis, and then once that's out of the way, you learn about it a bit yourself, and then you decide to talk about it to different people, and like tell people how it is if they don't care about it, or like they're not focused. But that's the thing, is like you're
mhm,
like raising awareness for something that you're passionate about.
yeah, no, I really am. Like I'm so passionate about it sometimes, but like I get myself in the state. Like even like the other week, I can't even remember what it was that sort of like triggered it. I can't remember. But I just one day just felt so angry that like people out there were suffering and like I couldn't do anything about it and like they weren't being listened to or they were in pain and like no one was running the proper tests and like they do have like Crohn's or whatever and I just got so angry. Like I actually wrote like emails to like MPs in Belfast and all like and I was like more awareness needs to be spread on this but like I really meant it because it's just something you just don't see. Like even like there's so many things like in Belfast they'll like raise money for and like even like the Crohn's and Colitis UK, like the the marathon and stuff, like we don't have any of that in Belfast. Like all the events for like Crohn's and Colitis UK are always like over, like London or things like
Yeah.
that. And like in Belfast, like we don't have anything. And I'm just like, why? Like give us something, like just give me something. So
Yeah.
like I've been writing to everybody, like trying to get something going for like fundraising and stuff in Belfast because there just isn't like at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully you do get some stuff in Belfast, because
And I
yeah.
won't stop until I get it. I
Yeah.
won't stop.
You tell them. You tell them.
Right, I'll become the next MP just to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
If I have to.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can tell them all what you want.
I know. I'll be setting it in stone. I'll be in stone putting it all down. Like don't care about anything else. It's just this is what we're doing about Crohn's and that's
Yeah.
it.
Definitely.
Needs to be done.
Yeah. Well, it's been great, like speaking to you, Caitlin. It's been like nice hearing about your story, like your journey with Crohn's, and like like how you like to talk about it and raise awareness.
I know it's been so nice being on. Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and hopefully the like Humira works. Like fingers crossed.
I know, fingers crossed.
Fingers
We're
crossed.
not up for changing anytime soon.
You have to let me know how you do, like how it gets on, like with your
Yeah.
Humira. Well, thank you again, and it's been a really nice chatting to you.
I know you say thank you, Mummy. Thank you.